Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the This is the Music Meets Podcast, an independent podcast show that's dedicated to introducing you to rising indie and alternative artists from across the UK and Ireland. If you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any future episodes, and don't be shy. Drop us a comment as we would love to hear from you. All right, then, let's dive into it. This is episode 144, and I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to be joined by today's guest. Today's guest is rising solo artist Adam Thomas Hughes, and we're going to chat about songwriting, reflecting on his 3 singles so far, his forthcoming Manchester headline show, and that Ryan Breslin comment. So, Adam, it's a very warm welcome to the This is the Music Meets podcast. Thanks very much for coming on today. How are you doing?
I'm great, mate. Thank you for having me on. It's ace. Been looking forward to this for a few weeks now. First anyone to give us any bit of recognition on any of the songs. The first guy to, give us any recognition, and it means a lot.
Oh, well, first of all, it's very, very nice to hear that I was the first person. And also we'll try to do here at This is the Music is to obviously try and champion people, but I'm very, very confident that I won't be the last person to champion your music, because the 3 singles, obviously we're going to come on to them in a bit, but they are fantastic tunes. So I think I'm right in saying that you're from Newton Le Willows.
Yes, that's right.
Got that roughly right. Which, for those that are aware, and I must confess I did have to look this up when I was doing my research, it's pretty much smack bang in the middle of Manchester and Liverpool. So do you consider yourself more Mancunian or more Liverpudlian?
It's quite funny, because a lot of people do. That's always the first thing, where I'm from. That's always the first one, Manc or Scouser. To be honest, it's like so my family, my dad's side of the family are from the Wirral, like over the water near Liverpool. Mm-hmm. So a lot of my blood comes from that Liverpool side. I know they might be Wolves, but they still come from that Liverpool side. But then at the same, growing up, coming into my teenage years, all my friends were from Wigan and stuff.
Yeah,
which classes in Greater Manchester. It's massive music scene there, but it's Manchester, and I spend most of my time over the past 2 years in Manchester.
Right.
So I'm not Mancunian. I'm not a Scouser either. But it pops up. When I'm talking a bit of my dialect sometimes.
Yeah.
If I get angry or I'm talking dead fast, I end up sounding quite Scouse. But then sometimes it can sound a bit manky.
Yeah, I wonder whether or not we could maybe try and merge, Manc and
that's what I mean. That's the accent in it. Some words you end up saying it with dead harsh, like Scouser, and then some words it's a bit manny, but
brilliant, great stuff. So look, obviously, as I said there in the intro, there's obviously a lot to talk about. But let's sort of go right back to sort of the very beginning, really. What are your earliest musical memories? Sort of growing up. Could it be a certain band or maybe a song that sort of got stuck into your head that you can remember?
So it's weird, and it's not like everybody. I'm not going to sit here and say I was listening to Nick Drake when I was 6 years old, but I don't have I wasn't raised on music as much as most people in this whole industry. I've only really got into music in the past few years, 2 or 3 years. I do still have early memories of it though. Going to the football with my dad, he'd drag us along to get us out the house, and he'd always play the Beatles. The Beatles were one. It was Octopus's Garden and Yellow Submarine were the 2 songs that I remember. That's the first remember of music. First memory of music would be Octopus's Garden when I was about 5 years old, driving to the Tranmere Rovers games. Loved it, and I think that might be why he's a massive Beatles fan. He brought me into the Beatles, but then I dropped out of all of music. I didn't listen to it growing up in high school and stuff, and then about 16, 17, that's when I started getting back into it, and now it's all gone a bit mental with it all.
Yeah, brilliant. Because obviously you only, as you say, there, you're about 18, I think, at the moment, aren't you? So
Just turned 19.
I've just
Just
turned
turned
19.
19.
Well, you won't be 19 forever, as someone once
Oh,
famously
you wouldn't believe
sang.
how much I've heard that.
And so then, kind of like, then, what was that sort of moment then that you decided that you wanted to start making music? Because obviously you only sort of started gigging as well in 2023. I know kind of like the
Yeah,
two, people recording music and playing live kind of like go hand in hand. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
say 2023. So what was that defining sort of moment then for you?
You know what? I think the story of it, how it all went down was, I think I got a guitar in year 11 or
Yeah.
something like that. So I would have been about 16 years old. That was 2022. And I started trying to play it and learning it for a girl, to be honest. Just so I could
It's
like
always the
impress
way.
people. Yeah, yeah. And like, oh well, I bet a lot of stories start like that. But I wasn't great. And then I would just play it in my bedroom. Uh, not great, but I went to a local pub that I used to work at, and I played in, I think it would have been 2023, like early 2023. It was an open mic going on there, and my dad was like dead cautious of me going up. But I was like, no, no, go on, I can show him, like, I show him that I can play C and G on the guitar, and everyone will love me. Everyone will think it's amazing. But then, and I went up and I sang "No Surprises" by Radiohead. I think I sang "Death of You and Me," Noel Gallagher,
Yeah.
and I don't know what the other one is. It might have been like Creep or something. I was dead into Radiohead at the time, so I might have
Yeah.
been churning them out. And I did it, and everyone was like buzzing over it in the pub. There was quite a big crowd there for everyone else who was doing the open mics, and I just shimmied my way in. And when I come off it, my dad went to me, "I was so nervous about you playing. Like, so I really didn't want you to embarrass yourself, but you can actually sing." So I don't know if my dad thought I could sing or if I could just play the guitar. So
Yeah.
that's where it started, me just doing that open mic. And then maybe a month or two later, I was like, oh my God, I had so much euphoria from doing that and everyone giving me a clap at the end of it. I was like, I'm going to do it again. And then this time tell all my friends I'm going to go down. And I'd only sing 3 songs. And
Yeah.
I'd get like a group of 30 lads and stuff to all come down to the oak tree just to sing 3 songs. Looking back on it, it's a bit, well, but it was amazing. I had such a buzz over like playing covers in front of people. And then I think it was the end of 23. I was like, oh, this would be ace. Imagine if I put my own gig on. So I paid a couple £100 to book out like a party room thing
Yeah.
at some bar, like on top of a bar. And I got some really dead, crappy like speakers, plugged my acoustic guitar into it, and everyone was just stood in like a big little like
Yeah.
circle around me. It was like, it's funny to look back at because it's all quite different now. But everyone was just stood around singing the songs, and none of them were my own songs. That was never the idea.
Yeah.
But I had and after that happened, my dad was like, "That was amazing. Do you want to actually give this a go?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I will do." So I was like, how do I take it to the next step? What am I going to do? Because it's just me, acoustic guitar, and loads of covers. And then in the following year, that's when I was like, right, let's turn it a bit electric. Let's get a band to play with me, and let's write my own songs. And then and that's where, which was it's only last year. That's where I wrote my first ever song, which was "Long Way Home." I wrote that in like March last year or something like that, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, I can obviously hear how much, those memories are coming back there.
Yeah, no, I've not
What you're
thought about
saying.
it for a while, really, like
Yeah,
reflected on my journey to where I am now, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, sure. No, I can, and clearly your passion clearly is obvious there for playing live. But obviously, you just mentioned there, obviously, like the debut single obviously came out, sort of like last year. But just before we talk about that, what's then like your creative process like? So, how do you go about writing songs? What comes first? Is it the lyrics or is it the melody? Is it combination? How does it work for you at the moment?
I think it's changed as it's gone on. It's changed a little bit now that I've got the lads around me as well, who
Hmm.
actually do help with making most of the music. I am the like prime songwriter. It is me who writes the songs, but they come up with a lot, and it's usually it's different to when I first made the first song to the songs that we're making now. But when if we talk about like how I first started doing it, it would have literally just been found four chords, very simple. Found four chords and I'd hum to it and I'd just go, what would the melody be to this?
Mm-hmm.
And then once I found a melody to the four chords I was playing, I'd think of words afterwards about, and I'd just go, right, what do I talk about in this song? And then I've just got notebooks full of words for each different type of song that I want to make, and put them together over the top of the melody, see what would fit in it. And then yeah, that's how it used to come about. I think now it's a little bit different because as well, bit of a exclusive, but we have just spent the past, I don't know what month, we're in June now, but we spent March, the entire March and April in studio with making an EP. So
Wow.
it's like, I think we've got about 9 songs now that are all just sat on my computer waiting to go for everybody. And when we did that, it was a bit different. We can talk about it more in depth later if you want to talk about the singles.
Yeah.
But for instance, Left Behind Kid, Long Way Home was, I had this song written on an acoustic guitar, went into the studio with my friend Will, and he added loads of stuff to it to turn it into a song. But with Left Behind Kid, I'd wrote a chorus to a song, and then when we went in to do it, we started making the music behind this chorus. And then as we were doing it, I was like, I don't like it. So we just sacked it all off, the entire song, but we still had the instrumental and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I just rewrote it all in there. It's like I find it easier to write over the top of already having music there, because then Left Behind Kid, which we think is one of our best songs, especially out of the unreleased ones as well. It was all after the fact. We made the music to it, and then that's when the words started coming out for it.
Right. Okay. So sort of a couple of different, sort of, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I guess like styles, I suppose, really.
Yeah.
On, and I
100%.
guess obviously,
It literally depends on the day, I guess. Like,
yeah.
depends on the song, depends on the day.
Yeah, sure. And obviously with your debut single, The Long Way Home, that obviously came out in 2024. I think about August time, I think. We're going to come on to someone in a minute about that song in a bit. We have mentioned him already. But the track obviously has drawn comparisons, to artists like, Sam Fender, and Catfish and the Bottlemen as well.
Yeah.
So sort of kind of like 2 questions here, really. First of all, what was like the influence behind the song? And also as well, when you see, people saying, oh, it sounds like Sam Fender, sounds a bit like, Catfish and the Bottlemen. What, like, debut single as well, what's your sort of like reaction, I guess, to that?
Well, the second question is purely positive. I don't mind at all being compared to loads of people. I mean, I think it's a massive compliment if anybody would say, even if they said, yeah, the song's all right, it sounds like such and such. About, well, you just gave me a massive compliment that it sounds like Sam Fender. Sam Fender's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm pure positive when people say it sounds like such and such. Like the Long Way Home, we did say, a lot of people were saying it's very Sam Fendery and Catfishy. Sam Fendery with it's like very chorusy and shimmery guitars in the background of it. And I think we were going for that in the studio when we were doing it. But I think it's pure positive if anyone does it. As we go on, we're only going to develop and we're only going to evolve into our own, which I think we've started to do a little bit with all the new songs that we've not put out yet. But we've got our own. It doesn't sound like everybody else. Doesn't really sound like everybody else. It takes bits from everybody else, but I write quite differently to everybody else. And my guitarist, who's a genius, he makes music a lot different to everybody else in the scene. He'll fuse Radiohead and Pink Floyd ideas with the Royston Club, and then it makes a weird sound. Like, it's indie pop, but then you mix it with all this arty psychedelic stuff that's going on, and then it comes to like a really weird cool sound. So I really enjoy being compared to people. What was the first question again?
And kind of like, what was the influence behind the track? Was there anything behind it at all?
There's stories behind the song about how I wrote the song. Sonically, the influences are definitely Sam Fender. We really were into Sam Fender at the time. And I guess a little bit like probably the K's are from where I'm from. We live in the same town. So I think without me even knowing, subconsciously, I'll always have loads of influence from that band when I'm making songs. But yeah, them two sonically are probably the closest influences on that first one. But the behind the actual song, it's just loads of like stories of my personal life, I guess.
Yeah.
It's always about a girl, isn't it? It always ends up being about a girl.
Was this the same one you was trying to impress when you picked up the guitar, or is
It
that?
sadly wasn't. No, happily wasn't anything. Yeah, no, it was not her. I spoke to her in a long time, but yeah, different girl.
And then obviously following Hot on the Hills, really of that day, obviously your second single, Homemade Attraction came out at the towards the back end of last year, November,
Yeah,
2024. It's obviously got a lot of emotion, and sort of like honesty as well in the lyrics. So
yeah,
you obviously, because I believe as well that with this single, I think I'm right in saying, and the two either side of it, that you work with Luke Owens for, obviously everyone knows Luke from Shade. Is that right?
yes.
Three singles and sort of
All
like how
three, and the EP as well.
and
Yeah, we did the first single long way with him. We had so much fun in there, so we went back to Homemade Attraction, and we had even more fun doing that.
yeah,
And then obviously EP, we spent 2 months doing it, and it was best 2 months of my life so far. It's so much
yeah,
fun being in the studio for that long, coming up with all these ideas. But yeah, we did work with Luke. Luke's amazing, brilliant guy.
yeah, and obviously his band are
Yeah, shady.
fantastic as well, aren't they? So
Well done. Yeah.
does that kind of like help you as well then as an artist, knowing that the producer that you're working with actually has been in the same position that you are in the studio, trying to work out, oh, actually
Yeah.
that part of the song doesn't work
I've
now.
not I've not thought about it loads like that, but you are definitely right. Actually, having someone who is not just in a band themselves, but in a band that's very similar to the entire scene that we're trying to get into,
Mhm.
I guess that definitely does influence us in a positive way. It makes us think like I think we're confident in him, we trust him to do certain things. Do you know what I mean? The role of the producer isn't to make a song their song. It's to bring
Yeah,
the ideas of everyone that they're made that they're the song that we've made. Is to bring each idea in our heads out and put it into not onto paper, but onto the computer. And he's really good at doing that because he's in a similar environment sonically to what we are, and it makes life a lot easier they're a similar band to what we are, and that does definitely make life easier.
yeah, yeah, sure. And I've not sort of heard, can only really echo what you've said there, because I've heard a couple of other bands as well that have been on the podcast who have said very similar things actually to yourself. So it's actually
Yeah,
quite nice to hear that there are, you know that he is a good, probably not good. He's a great producer.
great
And
producer.
not the first person to say that at all. Obviously the new single, Left Behind, Kid, came out a few weeks ago. It sounds a bit more personal, maybe to me, in comparison
Yeah.
to the other singles. So yeah, can you just maybe talk us through the sort of, the story, or maybe like the emotions behind the track that sort of, that inspired it?
Yeah, no, it is definitely that is the most personal one that we've released so far, I guess. The story behind it is it's like trying to like censor it a little bit, but basically everyone's got people in their life who they want to help out because they think they're doing the wrong things, going down dark ways and bad ways and stuff. Um, and they feel like, and it could relate to you feel like that person, but the left behind kid. It's a person in everybody's life. It's not just somebody in my life. There's always going to be someone that you feel, and it could be yourself. You feel you're a bit left behind compared to your peers and stuff because of the choices and decisions that you make. And I've got one or two of them people in my life, and I ended up just writing a song about them. They don't know that it's about them though, but that's the story behind it, really.
Well, we won't name any names,
Yeah,
bit like that, but it's obviously had a really good reaction,
yeah,
as well. So I'm guessing you must be buzzing at that, right?
over the moon. Yeah, no, literally, I think I've not heard anyone who's reviewed or talked about the single and not said it's the best we've done so far.
Mhm.
Everybody, and I think that reflects on all the new music that's going to come. We've stepped up. Luke stepped up in the studio. The lads all stepped up in the studio, and we've really made stuff that sounds quite professional and like really good. Not to toot my own horn, but yeah.
No, you've got to, and that's exactly what this podcast is for, to do that. But for those that maybe haven't heard it yet, we're gonna put the song at the end of the episode, "Left Behind Kid," as I say.
Say to the end, give it a
And
listen. It's a good
yeah,
song.
that's it. Yeah, exactly. And we'll link it as well up in the episode bio. But just to sort of maybe give people a little bit of a flavour, really, it sort of seems a little bit, quite a bit more fast paced.
Yes, tempo was like it's like 180 or something. It was stupid high, and we've like another exclusive. We've got a whole like documentary type thing. We've recorded the entire process on cameras,
Wow. Yeah.
and there's a clip of me going when we've got the tempo, and Dan's just started playing the drums, turning around to the band. They're all laughing at me because I'm going. There is no way that because we played it in practice first. I was like, there's no way we've done it this fast because it didn't sound that fast in practice. And they're like, no, that's the tempo we did it at. I don't know how we're going to do this live. It's all right in the studio. You can take loads of tries, but live it's going to be dead hard to do and get it sound right. But yeah, it's a lot more fast pace.
So just on that, then obviously you've mentioned exclusively, which is very much appreciated, the EP that you've been working on, and obviously it's gonna be coming out at some point soon. So is looking at Left Behind Kid, is that kind of like the style that you're going to be going like implementing moving forward, or is it just a sort of go and stream the EP when it comes out and wait and see?
It's actually it's funny because we've Left Behind Kid obviously has come out after everything's finished. We've already made all the songs, and there's one other track that we do play live that's probably my favorite, but Left Behind Kid's like my second favorite. I think it's a good crowd song as well. And when we released it, it did make me think like everybody really likes this and this style. I think we should make more songs similar to this. Because if anything, on the EP, none of the songs come from the same vein sonically. Although we've got the same producer and the sounds are quite similar. They're like each song. We've got a song that sounds very Two Door Cinema-y, summer Brazil anthem like that, and then we've got a song that sounds like Nirvana, quite grungy, and well, a Wonder Horse as well, like right now.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that's very 1975-y, and there's one that's folky. It's weird because every song on the EP are all very different sonically, but after releasing Left Behind Kid, although the EP is already made, I'm not second guessing it. It's a great piece of work, but I'm like, maybe we should try and make a couple more of them Left Behind Kid type songs because everyone seems to like that. And if we're going to get somewhere, we should go with what people like, I think. But yeah, it's a bit different, everything on the EP to Left Behind Kid, but in the future, I think we're going to work on some stuff that is very similar to Left Behind Kid.
Yeah, sure. And you're obviously saying there that you've obviously played it live a couple of times, and I guess as well, it's probably a song that will get people jumping up around, bouncing around and stuff. I guess while it's being played live, and maybe that's part of the reason why people love it so much.
I hope so. I hope so. Definitely, it's going to be really, really fun. It is really fun to play live. We're still just we played it live in front of 2 crowds, and we're getting better at doing it every time. It's just very, very fast paced. Me playing the guitar while singing to that pace is like, wow. It's going to take some practicing in my bedroom, but I'll definitely figure it out.
You'll get there. Brilliant, brilliant. So let's just rewind a little bit and go back to the debut single, The Long Way Home. Ryan Breslin from the K's said, "I love this kid," after hearing the debut single, to say Long Way Home, which is obviously a massive endorsement. Do you know how Ryan first came across your music, and sort of like as well knowing what he has achieved with the K's? How does it feel hearing such positive words so early on in your your musical journey?
Well, as I said earlier, so the K's are actually, or 3/4 of them are from the same town as me, the Earlstown, which is like connected to Newton.
Right.
So Jamie Boyle, the singer, was actually my teacher at high school. And
Right. Okay.
yeah, he was a teacher at high school, where I used to go. I think a lot of people know that, and like around, he was just like a TA, and everyone loved him. But Ryan, I knew through, I used to work at a pub, and his other half at the time was my manager, and basically put us in like contact with each other. And
Right.
I just seen him quite a few times around, and I got quite chummy with him. And then when I was playing so as I said earlier, when I booked out like the room and played on my own just acoustically, Ryan would come down he'd come watch me play like I think 2 or 3 times, and he was just dead nice and dead supportive of me. And he knows what he knew what I was doing, so he ended up getting me on the Manchester Victoria big headline show. I was a
Yeah.
roadie for them at that gig, and
Right.
a
Okay.
couple of the
Wow.
previous ones. So that's how I know him. And I'd showed him Long Way Home at the time, much before it was released.
Mhm.
And yeah, you know what I mean. He's more of a friend, and he just was like, "Oh yes, brilliant! I love this kid, man." That type of thing. But it's amazing to know that they're just massive inspirations to me, because it's amazing to know that in this very boring, plain old working class like town, something can come out of it. And
Yeah.
that's what's driving. I think that's what drives me every time I'm picking up a guitar. I'm like, they did it. Why can't I do it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Well, I think it's fair to say that the K's are absolutely flying the flag for the indie
Definitely,
scene
yeah.
at the minute, and obviously number three album last year, and fingers crossed for the new album that comes
I'm hoping
very
it's going to
soon.
go number one.
Weeks,
I
isn't it?
think it will.
Yeah. I've
Everything I've heard off it sounds amazing.
Yeah, it does. Totally agree with you there, and fingers crossed for them. I know they've obviously just done a big tour, and I think they've got some
Yeah.
acoustic in-store stuff coming up as well.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah.
hopefully it gives them the boost. But when you have support from like artists, not obviously comments that like Ryan said, and obviously like the more support in general from the K's, does that give you sort of like a personal boost, and thinking, do you know what? I am on the right track with my music, that people are digging it.
Without a doubt, 100%. When because our manager does it as well, he shows it to people. When people who understand music recognize your music and compliment your music, that's the biggest thing to me.
Yeah,
It's amazing having people like fans of your music. It's amazing having fans of your music, but then when people who really understand music, and they listen to your music, and they say good words about it, it gives me a confidence boost that, right, well, music, and you're saying this is good. It makes me think this is good, because my mum and
yeah,
dad will say whatever I put on my guitar is good. People who actually know music, when they say that it's good, then I'm actually convinced, I guess, by it. And that's what it is like. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm sure that sort of praise is going to continue
I hope so.
coming forward in my view, without a shadow of a doubt. So let's talk about live music, because obviously you're going to be headlining the Deaf Institute up in Manchester
Yes.
in July. It's obviously a huge milestone. How does it feel to be topping the bill at this fantastic venue?
Listen, mate, I ain't shut up about it for the past 2 months, mate. So we got told at the end of last year that like we've got a slot for you here if you want to do it. And I spoke to the band and I was like, do you reckon we could sell it? Because where we're at right now is like we just played a pub last week. Do you reckon we could sell this venue? Like it's a place that the Cortinas in 1975 have played and headlined.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's do it. We can't turn it down. So as soon as I knew about it, I was going mental, like buzzing over it. And it is amazing. And then as soon as it got announced, everyone was buzzing over it. And it boosted me even more. I'm like, oh my God, everyone's excited. And then now, over the past week, we've been told that it's like, I think, if I get my figures around, it's around 80% sold out, and we've still got just under a month to go. So I think there's only about 15 and 20 tickets left, something along those lines. Yeah, I think there's only like 15 and 20 tickets left to sell out of like the 120 that'll be in the room. And I cannot wait for it. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We've worked so hard as well to come up with like a new set for it. It's going to showcase all these new songs and then a couple covers to get everyone buzzing. But yeah, cannot wait.
Yeah, yeah, I can. That's definitely coming across there. I can hear that, and obviously wish you all the luck
Yeah,
in the world with it. But you're saying there's about 15, 20 tickets left,
yeah, very short.
roughly. So then maybe for people that have only just like come across you, on your socials or maybe via Spotify, whatever it may be, why then should they come to the show at the Deaf Institute? Can you sell it? Can you sell it to us in 20 seconds?
To put it simply, I don't need 20 seconds. It's like, to put it simply, if you don't come to this, I feel like you're gonna regret it in like 4 years' time. I feel like people are gonna regret it because we've got some really, really big things coming up. And I know literally everybody says that, and it's like, yeah, big things on the way. It's like, okay, mate, sure they are. But really, like, this is the first step now. This is our first, like, ATH1 is what we're calling it. All this stuff that we're doing this year is ATH1. It's the first chapter of it. And there's going to be a lot more chapters, and we're just going to go up. We're just going to scale up every single time. And this first one is the one that you need. I'm aware that was more than 20 seconds. I'm sorry.
Blame the guy asking the questions.
I apologize. Okay, I said I don't need 20 seconds. Proceed to take 40. You know what I mean? Sorry.
Not a problem at all. And obviously it sounds like it's going to be like a fantastic evening. Am I right in saying that you played here? You played at the Deaf Institute before? Is that right? So
January, maybe not March, start of March. I think it was like the 1st of March or 7th of March, something like that. We supported our good friends Monday's Problem,
yeah,
who Ace, love them. They were actually at the gig we played last week in the crowd, and love them. It was the best gig we've ever played at the Deaf Institute, which is what I guess has made us even more excited to headline it ourselves. The sound in there is, for grassroots level, the Deaf Institute's so iconic and so prestigious and professional that the sound in there is like 10 times better than most places that we could play at this level. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for it.
Yeah, sure. And are you approaching the headline slot like any differently, compared when you were there back in March?
Yeah, 100%. We sorry if I cut you off then, but we definitely are, like, in our practices. We're practicing as if we're about to headline Glastonbury, to be honest. Like, you've got to give 110% every single show you do. But this headline is like, right, we need to pull out all the stops, all extended versions of the songs. We want to make it seem like a big epic conclusion to that first chapter. And this is the one that's opening now. That's what we're trying to do with it, I guess. And if it sells out, that'll definitely be the icing or cherry on the cake, whatever it is.
Definitely. Well, fingers crossed. And obviously, as you said there, you got about 15 to 20 tickets.
Yes, so buy them. If they're not sold out, people, please just get them, sell it out. Even if you're not coming, just buy it. I just want it to be sold out.
Have the nice little sign there across the
Exactly.
the poster, but
big in red, sold out. Can't even wait for it.
That's it, absolutely. And look, we'll put the ticket link as well in the episode bio, so hopefully as well that we'll get a few more, and we'll try and help with a little bit of promotion as well for you to get you over the line on that. But on every This Is the Music Meets podcast, we ask our guests a series of questions that are sort of designed to be a little bit more like light-hearted and just help the listeners, find out a little bit more about you, the artist. So first of all, we're going to play a little game of Winner Stays On. And all the artists in this little segment have been selected from your artists playlist over on your Spotify, Adam Thomas Hughes. So the first...
Oh no! I thought it would just be like random artists, not my own playlist. Oh no!
So the first matchup is the Rolling People, the Montellos.
I have to go with Montello Stays. I'm really, I listen. I probably listen to more Rolling People because I think they've got more songs on. But Montello and my boys, they've supported me the entire way. I love them. I have to go with them.
Brilliant. Love the reasoning as well on that. And yeah, I mean, obviously, it's just for fun. And all the bands on here, by the way, I should say, are totally fantastic.
All of them amazing. It wouldn't be my playlist otherwise. You know what I mean? I've got exceptional taste in music.
Absolutely. I couldn't have put it better myself there. That's I like that. So we've got Montello's v Alex Spencer.
Ah, it's like because the pair of them are both like play the same like big brother type role to me.
Right,
Alex
okay.
is like ace. They're both ace. Like they're dead nice to me. They've supported me the entire way. I can't let down my Montello boys like that. I've got to go with Montello. Alex is amazing, honestly, and his songs are amazing. But no, I'll go with Montello.
No,
Plus, one of my favorite songs right now is "See You Right" by Montello. It's an amazing song. So yeah,
no,
I'll go with it.
recommendation
Yeah,
as well. We should just shout as well. I think Alex is. I think it was today that he's released his or he's put on pre-sale. I should say an EP that he's got coming up.
yeah. I can't wait for that. It's gonna be a
So yeah,
great, great
it
EP.
should be good. Need to see him live. Not quite got
He
the
was, I
date.
saw him at Neighbourhood the other weekend, and
Yeah,
he put on a show. He's brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah. He's gonna go big, Alex. He
yeah.
already is big, but yeah.
Yeah, no, no, exactly what you mean there. So we've got Montello's. This time they're up against Tom A. Smith.
I'll go Montello again. Montello just getting it here. I'll go with Montello again. But Tom Smith is really cool.
Yeah,
Really cool. I like his songs. I think the one on that playlist will be Little Bits, isn't it?
yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
so.
Yeah,
Great, really cool song. Really cool song. I've not listened to him as much as the other three that you've mentioned before, but he's really cool. But Montello, my boys, I can't let them down. Until 1975 come up or something. I'm like, oh, sorry, lads.
well, I can save it a high. Then they're not on this. They're not on this little
There
winners
we go.
game, so that might make it a little bit easier. But it's getting a bit harder now. So we've got Montello's versus Sam Fender.
Sorry, lads. Jacob Liam, I'm sorry, mate, but yeah, Sam Fender, 100%.
Yeah, they had a good run though.
You know what? In my opinion, genuinely, and you can argue with the wall, but Sam Fender's the best lyricist and musician to come out of the past 10 years of music in the UK, especially. Anyway, I think he is 100%. Argue with the wall, mate.
Do you know what? I'll confess, I've not really given him enough of a listen.
I can't think of it's that new album as well. I can't think of someone over the past, let's say, since like 2017. I can't think of someone who's made as good music as Sam Fender. It's amazing.
Yeah,
And I'm dead into lyrics, mate. As the songwriter of my band, I'm dead into lyrics, and his lyrics are like, oh, so cool. But yeah, Sam Fender. Sorry, lads.
they had a good run though. They had a good run.
Yeah.
That
They beat
definitely.
most people. Sam Fender
Yeah.
came too early because he's in like my top 2 or 3, so might be a bit of a Sam Fender staying on here.
So he's up. Sam Fender is up against Fontaine's DC.
It's Fender, but Fontaine's unreal. Love him. Really cool. I've only got into Fontaine's over the past like since Romance came out. I've
Right.
not actually listened to. I didn't listen to him before Romance came out, and then I've gone through everything now, and I see what I've been missing out on. But Sam Fender blinkers are on right now.
Okay, and this is winner takes all now. So it's Sam Fender, and I reckon you've probably got a good idea of who they're going to be. Oh, sorry, who Sam is going to be up against. It's the K's.
Fucking hell. Oh man, what are you doing to me?
Tough one. A draw.
Yeah, I don't know if we can draw. It's like my heart is with the K's, but my head is with Sam Fender. It's like
Yeah.
I'm aware that Sam Fender is, like I've just said, the best lyricist of the past 10 years, but my heart is with the K's boys. So can't let down the K's like that. I'll say the K's. I'll say the K's. Can't let them down. However, Sam Fender might be my more favorable. If a Sam Fender song comes on or a K's song comes on, I'm more likely to listen to the Sam Fender song.
There you
That's
go.
what
But you're choosing the K's though for this,
I'll
right?
choose the K's for
Yeah.
this. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
very, very tough there. And obviously, as you said before, what a brilliant playlist and great musical taste that you've got
Yeah.
uh,
Definitely some
as
good
well.
bands there. Well.
So you'll like this question. You'll be pleased to know is a little bit easier.
Okay. I was
So
gonna say yeah.
you're stranded on a desert island. You can take one album, one luxury item, and one fictional character with you. What are you packing, and who's coming?
Wow. So one album. Let
Yeah.
me look at the wall. Look at the vinyls. Uh,
It is a tough one, to be fair.
yeah. I mean, albums. It's like. Uh, trying to think what because it's a hard question because when you're on a desert island, you're gonna get bored. You know what I mean? It's like I'm gonna say A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships by the 1975 because I think that and The Bends are both my favorite albums of all time. But I'll go with the 1975 one because I think there's more variety on that album.
Mhm.
And then the other question, what was it? Luxury item.
Yeah.
It's either this or this, to be honest, mate. It's got to be one of them two.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't take my phone if I could throw this away tomorrow. I would do.
Yeah. And
I'll say the guitar.
so the guitar. Okay. And what about your fictional character?
Fictional character. Good question. You know what? I'll be smart about it, and I'll say Mrs. Incredible because in the Incredibles movie, isn't she the one she's just like, turn into a life raft, can't she? And I'll just jump in that and leg it and go back to England. It was either her or Dumbledore, but I don't know if Dumbledore can time travel, like teleport. I don't know. So maybe someone who could teleport.
I
Or
like.
Mrs. Incredible. I don't know why that came to my head that she turned herself into a speedboat, but
Yeah, but that's good though. You can listen to the album. You can play a couple of songs on your guitar, and then
just have a little
oh, yeah,
little swim over. Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, they're my three.
like that. Brilliant, great stuff. And if you could collaborate with any artist, who would it be?
If you're talking about writing a song, if I'm sat down writing a song with someone, it's either I had it like dead on then as well, but I was like, oh, hang on. If I'm sitting down writing a song, it would be either Bob Dylan or Ben. Ben is it Mateus or something like that from the Royston Club?
Yeah,
I think he's stupidly good at actually writing songs. It's really, really cool.
yeah,
They're one of my favorite bands. So it's a big league to put him in with Bob Dylan, but
yeah.
it's Bob Dylan or him. They're my two favorite songwriters right now. Yes.
Liking that, liking that. So milestones. What are your next ones? You know, what's coming up on your radar? You know, you've obviously mentioned new releases that are going to be that you're working on. You know, festivals. Is that in the insight? How do you see the rest of 2025 going for Adam Thomas Hughes?
I think so. I think we're actually going to come. So we do the Deaf Institute first, and then after the Deaf Institute, we're drawing up a plan with our manager about how we want the next year to go.
Yeah,
September to September. We're going to release another song very soon after the Deaf Institute to just keep us in mind.
yeah, definitely.
I think we're going to have another headline at the end of the year in December, and then next summer is when we're doing festivals. We've already got two that we think we're going to be on.
Right.
It's not dead cert or anything yet, but our manager thinks we should be all right for it. And they're big festivals as well. We'll be playing an early slot, but it'd be a big festival, one of them especially, and then the EP as well. That's a big one for us, and we still don't have a date or anything yet because we just want to make sure we play it all right. It's very likely if it's this year, it'll be very towards the end of the year. It might be towards when we do the headline at the end of the year. It's more likely going to be towards then. As like a big EP party, we'll hopefully do another gig, and then next year is when we do tackle the festivals. But yeah, we've got a lot of like meetings and stuff with a few A&R people and label people over the next few months, and that's our priority right now, just to see if they can take us a bit further.
Yeah, sure. Well, look, it sounds like it's going to be really, exciting. Middle to sort of end of 2025 and obviously into 2026 as well. And I really honestly wish you the best of luck with it, because
thank you, mate.
The free tunes, as I said earlier on, that I've heard that are out there on your Spotify are fantastic. Really, good emotions and really, passion as well for not just for the songwriting, but the playing as well from yourself and the rest of your bandmates is evident. So look, I wish you honestly the best of luck with everything.
Appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much.
And but just before I do let you go, that is obviously, as I say, unfortunately the end of the This Is Music Meets podcast. But just before I do let you go, can you let the This Is the Music listeners know the social media platforms that they can find Adam Thomas Hughes?
Yeah, literally everything is Adam Thomas Hughes. Instagram, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, all is at Adam Thomas Hughes. You can find us on all of there, and that's where all the updates will be about future gigs, future songs coming out, and the big EP that we'll bring out hopefully at the end of the year, people.
Brilliant. Look, great stuff. We'll put all those links in the episode bio, as well as along with even the ticket link to the Deaf Institute gig that you got coming up in July.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Adam, thanks very much. A real pleasure to have you on, and hopefully I'll get to see you myself at one of your forthcoming gigs in the very near future.
We'll come down south, mate. Thank you. It's been a pleasure, mate, chatting to you.
And all that leaves me to say is to thank everyone for tuning in to the latest This Is the Music Meets podcast. Please subscribe so you never miss out on any brand new episodes. And if you're loving the podcast, I would love to hear from you. So please leave a comment. If you're listening to this episode on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, then stay tuned, because at the end of this episode, you'll be able to hear the brand new single from Adam Thomas Hughes, which is called Left Behind Kid. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon for another This Is the Music Meets podcast. And remember, the future is bright. The future is indie. Gotta borrow the boy sometimes.